Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hitting that play button for another episode of the Hetty Coleman podcast, where I have been just talking through my blog posts that I've been sharing over at, let's get it up here on the screen, HettyColeman.com. For those of you who are watching on video, you can see it on the screen there. For those of you who are listening on audio, again, it's Hetty, Heady, Coleman, COLEMAN.com. I've been writing over on my blog pretty consistently every day for the last 10 days or more. Then jumping on here, if some of you have already been listening, you know what I've been doing. Sorry that I'm saying it again, but I've been jumping on here and just talking over my blog posts because I just want to be able to utilize that content in a way that I can share it, not just in the written form, but also the video, also audio, YouTube, Instagram, TV, however I can get it out there. I want to be able to get it out there. Also, I've been uploading it natively to LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram TV, I think are the three places. Oh, YouTube. Just uploading it directly to those different sites. Just again, I'm just seeing what connects with people. And the reason I'm sharing all of this with you is because I want you to also, for those of you who've been thinking about starting a blog or starting a podcast or YouTube, you got to discover different ways to connect with those who are in your audience. Now, my audience may be 10 people, but for the 10 of you, I want you to be able to have this, and I want to hopefully inspire you to go forward in whatever that is that's in you, because you may do it and you may explode where I may just keep my 10 people and we may be rolling for the next 20 years together. But for some of you, you may have something in you or content that a whole bunch of more people may connect with. So today on my blog, I wrote about 3 powerful things that happens when we share our story. So when we share our story, on my podcast, I often share go-in conversations with people. I sit down with people. I ask them questions. And the reason I have these conversations is that I hope that from it, people hear these people's stories. And in those stories, let me tell you the 3 things that I believe happen when these stories get out there. One, I believe that we learn from them. So when someone is sharing their story, there's opportunity not just to learn about them, but also to learn from them. So if I'm sitting down having a conversation with an entrepreneur, a store owner, and they begin to talk about their marketing plan and how they do that, and this is within their story of telling their entrepreneur journey, or they are starting a retail business, whatever that may be, in that I may learn some ways that I can market my podcast, how I can market my blog or my website. And so for you can be thinking the same thing. Like whenever you share your story, share it in such a way that understanding that people are learning from it. Not only are they learning about you, but they're also learning from it. And this may be things that they're learning that they can be consistent in to achieve that win that they have for their life. You remember, go win is about what are those right things you need to be consistent in to achieve the wins you want for your life so you can live out a greater story. So we learn from one another's story. Here's another thing that happens when we share our story. We are inspired by it. We are inspired by a great story, or when we hear a story that resonates with something in us that we have wanted to do or try to accomplish, that inspires us to move forward. I love it. And you may have been around people and they'd be like, man, so-and-so's story inspired me to go do XYZ. So-and-so's story inspired me to go do, fill in the blank, to start a business. It inspired me to go serve in my community. It inspired me to go to college to get a degree because they heard someone's story. So you should share your story in such a way, in understanding that it can be inspirational for someone. Here's the third thing. The third thing that happens when we share our story is that people begin to connect with us. People begin to see that we share values. We share values, and we have similar interests. We have the same interests as one another. And in that, we begin to connect. And hopefully that connection leads to community, because communities are built around when people have the same thing in common, and then they go do that, whatever that may be, together. Bike riding. I know that so and so loves the bike ride. I connect with her. We go bike riding together. It begins to help us be maybe more consistent in riding bikes. Therefore, we may lose weight. Then, therefore, we're more healthier. You see, community wins is the way that I like to say it. Whenever we can connect with people who have similar values and interests, there's this greater opportunity for those people to win together than alone. So, 3 things, quick review, 3 powerful reasons you should share your story. 1, people learn from them. 2, people are inspired by them. And 3, we connect as people when we start sharing our stories, and from that, seeing that we have common values and interests in other ways too, that we connect. We similar foods or whatever. So those are 3 reasons why you should be sharing your story. Okay? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for hitting that play button for another episode of the Hetty Coleman podcast. And I hope you keep coming back. I'm going to keep trying to provide content. Hopefully you're learning something from this. Hey, subscribe. I don't know where you're listening, but subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. I don't know if people can see this if they're not following me now. If you're not, let's follow me. Connect with me on Facebook. Go like my Facebook page. Let's continue to grow this community, because I want to continue to provide you stories that will allow for you to learn, be inspired, and connect. I want to see you go win. I want to go see you discover the right things you need to be consistent in to achieve whatever those wins are that you want for your life, so you can live out a greater story. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for hitting that play button. And as always, go win.